I want to call the June 15th, 2021 Daviess County Fiscal Court meeting to order. If you would, bow your head and pray with me. Our Heavenly Father, we humbly ask and thank you for all the gifts that we receive from you. We ask that you watch over the men and women who serve in our armed forces and all of our emergency responders. I ask for wisdom and understanding for this court. Grant us humility in our everyday life and give us the courage to make right decisions for our Daviess County community. We ask all these things in your name. Amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Once again, I want to welcome everyone to our June 15th, 2021 Daviess County Fiscal Court meeting. This is kind of a special meeting. We're holding it at 10 a.m. The commissioners and I are going to be involved in some other activities when we normally have our meeting. We have Commissioner Wathen with us by Zoom this morning. Good morning, Commissioner.
Morning.
Everybody ready? Before we start, today is the first day that we actually have several folks in our courtroom. Everybody has gone through the last 15 months of the pandemic, and we've tried to abide by the governor's mask mandates and social distancing and all that. So it really is good to see some happy faces out there, some smiling people, and to actually have people come to the microphone and talk to us. But if you're unable to be here, and there is a procedure now to do that. If you want to come and address the court in person, we ask that you call Jennifer Warren, the court clerk, and just make a reservation. We need your name and what you're going to speak about, because what we're still trying to do is maintain social distancing in the courtroom. So if anyone that's watching the meeting on Facebook Live, if you have a question or comment about anything that is on the agenda, I will occasionally ask David, and typically we ask that you speak when we're doing that item, but we're on a delay, so I will ask him if there are any comments. And then at the end of our meeting, we invite people to come to the podium and speak about anything that other than what was on the agenda. And if you have a question or a comment that you would like to make that is germane to Daviess County Fiscal Court's business, then you're certainly welcome to submit that question, and it will get up here to us. We'll either answer it in this meeting or try to get back to you. Jenny, are you ready?
Yes, sir. Item 1, consideration for presentation. A, recognizing Daviess County High School student Hope Ramming and Owensboro Catholic High School student Hunter Wimsatt for perfect ACT scores.
Commissioners, if you recall our last meeting, we had a young lady here who was going to Harvard. And I don't know about you, but I'd never met anyone who was going to Harvard, to college. Well, then I read about two of our students here in Daviess County, one from Daviess County High School and the other from Owensboro Catholic High, which, by the way, is the alma mater of Commissioner Wathen, Commissioner Caslin, and myself.
Daviess County.
Daviess County. Well, okay, so you've got the other student as your alma mater. They scored perfect 36s on the ACT test. And that's a college entrance exam, and it is extremely rare. As a matter of fact, of all the participants who take the ACT-C, it's my understanding that only 0.33% of them will score in that range, which is just amazing that we have two students. So I asked their families to bring them here today, and we're going to invite them to come up, introduce the guests that they brought with them. Hunter, you've got a long introduction in front of you. By the way, I'm the oldest of 12 kids, and Charlie is the next to youngest of 13. Isn't that right? So it's nice to have lots of brothers and sisters, except when they're bugging the dickens out of you. So, ladies being first, I'm going to ask Hope if you would come up to the podium and just say a few words to us. Tell us the experience that you had during the test. Is it really that hard? Okay, hit the
Tap it on the
on-
top. I
It's
think
on.
it's live.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
that's-
on.
okay. So my name is Hope Ramming, and I have my mother with me, Stacy Potts. So when I got my 36, that was the 4th time I've taken the ACT, and that was for our ACT that was required by the state in our junior year, and we had one our sophomore year as well, and I got a 35 on that one, and I was content to stop there if we didn't get to take the junior one because of COVID. So I was content there, but they said that we were going to go ahead and have the junior required one, so I said I might as well try for the 36. So
Okay, are you prepared for the test question? I've asked the commissioners to prepare a question for you just to see if you could answer them. Did you prepare yours, Charlie?
I just want to know how many did you guess at versus you were confident you were answering the right?
I was kind of worried after I took it, but not too bad because, like, I think for the reading and the science sections, I could only miss like one question, and so I was nervous on the ones that I guessed on, and then there's a 25% chance that it was right or not, and yeah, but
My understanding is that you're penalized if you guess and guess a wrong answer.
no,
Okay.
the ACT you're not penalized. The ACT, PSAT, and SAT you're not penalized. So it's better to go ahead and guess and to leave one blank.
Okay. Anything that you would like to tell us before you go sit down and start your college career? Where are you going to college? Have you made your choice yet?
I don't know yet. I'm planning on going on a lot of college tours this fall, but there's a lot to explore still.
Yeah. Okay, well, we're really proud of you. Thanks.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
George, you're sitting there over there. You can't see, or can you see what's going on?
No,
Okay.
but that's okay.
Okay, do you have anything that you'd like to say to Hope?
I just think a perfect score is absolutely amazing.
It is amazing, okay. Our
Congratulations.
next student is Hunter Wimsatt. Hunter goes to Allocate. Hunter, come on up and start introducing your family.
Hello, my name is Hunter Wimsatt. I've got Brad Wimsatt over here, and then I've got Jonah, Alyssa, Lydia, Eli, Liam, Sophia, Ethan, and Abram.
Okay, Sophia's the one that said she was smarter than you.
Yeah.
I'm smart alecky maybe, but we just wonder. Okay, tell us about your experience.
Yeah, so that was, mine was also the state required ACT. It was my second time around. I took it once freshman year. At the end of freshman year, got a 35. So I was also content with that score. But yeah, I tried for the 36 and ended up getting it, so.
Okay. Did you do any, there are prep tests and prep things that you can do. Did you use any of those to prepare?
Yes, I used some of the practice tests and just O tests to prepare, and then some practice questions from a test prep website. And those were my two main sources of prep.
So I failed to ask Hope, but what's your favorite subject? What are you going to be studying?
Mathematics.
Mathematics. And Hope, what were you studying? Mathematics? What's your favorite subject?
My favorite subject in school is social studies.
Okay, all right. Well, mathematics, I can already see those figures whirling around your head. I was going to do a calculus question for you, but I couldn't figure out how to ask them because they were so tough. So anyway, well, congratulations. We are really, really proud of you and both of you combined. So good luck in your academic career, and don't forget the county that you came from or the city that you came from. Okay? Yes.
I'm just curious. You both said you'd got a 35 before. When you took it the first time, did you have any idea you would come anywhere close to what you scored the first time?
The first time,
Yes.
I mean, I wasn't really sure what I was going to get because it was kind of, I was just waiting to see what I would get, just try my best, so.
Okay. How about you, Hope? No clue. All right. Just curious.
Usually,
Congratulations to both.
usually I found when I took a test, I knew whether I passed or failed, but in this case, there is really no pass or fail.
Right.
It's just get the highest score that you can get, right?
Right.
Okay. All right, well, once again, thanks for coming, thanks for being here, thanks for representing Owensboro and Davis County. You do not have to stay for this meeting. As a matter of fact, I don't think these kids could sit through one of our meetings, and you're quite welcome to go ahead and exit.
Thank y'all for coming.
That one's going to sleep, Judge.
I'm sorry, going to sleep. I don't blame you. After, you know, he was awake when I was talking, but when Charlie started talking, he kind of laid his head down on that seat.
I have that peaceful drone now.
Sleep with sucker in his mouth.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Good luck to you. Watch that sucker stick. Don't shove it down his throat.
B, proclaim June 26th through the July 2nd, 2021 as Amateur Ham Radio Operators Week.
Commissioner Caslen.
Have a proclamation from the Office of the County Judge Executive. Whereas we fully realize and appreciate the importance of amateur radio operators and their contributions of providing communications to the community during an emergency, and whereas in the performance of duty, they have demonstrated the highest skill and professional achievement and have completely and unselfishly dedicated themselves to the well-being of their community, and where it is deemed appropriate that county government express appreciation on behalf of all citizens. Now therefore, Al Mattingly, Davis County Judge Executive, does hereby proclaim June 26th to July 2nd, 2021 as Amateur Radio Operators Week, and call upon all of Davis County citizens to show their sincere appreciation for amateur radio operators by deed, remark, and attitude. Presented this 15th day of June, 2021.
And Jenny will mail that to them.
He will come and pick it up tomorrow morning.
Okay, good. Thank you. Next item.
C, Treasurer's Report for May 2021.
Mr. Hendricks.
Cash balance at the end of May, $54,823,359. General funds, $21,662. Through the 11 months of the fiscal year, everything has fallen within the range. I've apprised the court of anything I thought they needed to know about at this point. There's no surprises. And obviously, one of the reasons that the balance is so high is the new ARPA fund that we have our first installment on that. So you'll see $10 million sitting in that account.
Commissioners, questions, comments? One comment I'll make, I continually see comments on Facebook and other media outlets regarding the ARPA funds, both the city's portion and the county's portion, with lots of people having lots of suggestions on how we spend the money. Unfortunately, we are given guidance by Treasury on how we can spend the money. And secondly, unfortunately, Treasury hasn't completed that guidance yet. And Davis County Fiscal Court pretty much is just going to sit here until we get the guidance. We don't see any need to go ahead and move forward in apportioning those funds out and then be told that we can't do it. So I would hope, Mr. Hendricks, end of the summer, maybe middle
in
of
August, probably.
August, we might get those final guidance. So whenever we do, we'll let the community know. This is just a report, doesn't require a vote. A copy of this report is on file in the clerk's office here on the second floor of the courthouse, and anyone is welcome to come up and examine it. Next item, Jenny.
Item 2, consideration for approval, A, minutes of the June 3rd, 2021 Davis County Fiscal Court meeting.
Motion approved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Commissioners, you've all had a copy of the minutes in your possession for some time. Any additions, deletions, or corrections? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries.
B, all claims for all departments.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Again, Commissioners, you've all had a copy of the bills due and payable in your possession for some time. Any questions of the treasurer? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carries.
C, budget transfers for fiscal year ending June 30, 2021.
Motion approved.
Second.
I have a motion and second. Mr. Hendricks.
We did the first round of budget transfers at the last meeting. This is the second round, and there's obviously not very many as we anticipated. There'll even probably be less when we do the last round on June the 30th. But for the second round of budget transfers, request permission to transfer $13,600 in the general fund, $4,800 in the road fund, and $183,400 in the solid waste operating fund. I recommend approval.
Commissioners, questions or comments? This doesn't change the total amount of the budget, it just moves money around within the budget, correct, Mr. Treasurer?
That is correct.
All right, if there are no other questions or comments, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, motion carries.
D, allocate to the Bluegrass Museum and Hall of Fame a one-time payment of $25,000 to offset expenses for ROMP 2021 security services.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and second. Commissioners, as you're aware, because of the pandemic, last year ROMP had to be canceled. ROMP is a fairly large fundraiser for the Bluegrass Museum. As a result, they sent a letter to us requesting a one-time payment to help offset the $25,000 in security costs. I felt that it was appropriate to do so. And as I talked to you folks, you said, let's put it on the agenda and vote on it. Any question or comment? They will be using again this year the sheriff as they have, the sheriff and sheriff's deputies as they have in the past 4 or 5 years, I guess. Hearing no comment, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
E, order of allowance to the Board of Assessment Appeals.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and second. Mr. Hendricks, you want to talk to us about this?
This is an order that comes to the court annually. As you know, after the assessments go out, there's a period of time where you can appeal your assessment. A board is established to hear those appeals. This is the official order to pay them $100 each for the time that they served on that. We will pay the people, and then the state will reimburse us for half of the cost. I recommend approval.
Question or comment? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next item.
F, contract with Stuart Snow to provide a supervised public fireworks display.
Motion approved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Commissioners, this is pretty much the same agreement that we have every year. They will be providing liability insurance. We will pay them to put this on. I want to correct an item that was in the newspaper. I won't blame the newspaper reporter. I could have said that this display would be held the Saturday before Memorial Day at Panther Creek Park is where it's going to be. I think it was reported as being held at Horse Fork Creek Park. It will not be at Horse Fork Creek Park. It will be at Panther Creek Park where we always hold them. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
G, agreement for purchase and use of sports equipment with the City of Owensboro, Owensboro Health, and Global Spectrum.
Motion approved.
Second.
I have a motion and second. David, do you want to discuss this or talk about it, or are you going to talk about it? Any questions? Okay, or I can talk about it, it's whatever. While David's coming up, I wanted to say thank you to Mark Calitri and the CVB for doing the legwork on this, for looking at it and getting the parties together. I want to thank David for this. I want to thank Laura and everybody involved in this procedure, because I think it's going to really be a boon and benefit for our community going forward and the event center. So go ahead, David. What, no batteries? Yeah, get,
Jordan's coming up, David.
there you
Okay,
go.
no, it is there. I guess maybe I held it too long and it went back off. So I think basically you've said it all, Judge. What we're here today to approve started as an idea from one of the local hotelers who has a facility in Paducah, and they noticed this winter their occupancy rate was through the roof all winter long. And it was because the convention center in Paducah had purchased a sports court. He brought this idea to RCVB, Mark Calitri and his staff. They started immediately trying to work because anything we can do to improve the utilization of the convention center and improve, I think the judge, your comments, heads in beds, is a good thing for our community.
And seats at tables.
Yeah. So he instantly then started reaching out to the city, to the county, to Owensboro Health, and then to the convention center in Laura. Everyone has come together in this partnership. This is obviously a great thing for the city and the county, the CVB, for the convention center, the local hotelers. I think without a doubt we couldn't do this project without everyone's involvement, especially Owensboro Health. Them stepping forward to sponsor the court obviously has a great benefit for the local taxpayers.
It's a partnership. Owensboro Health is going to put up $300,000, city $150,000, and the county $150,000 for a total of $600,000. The county is going to provide some storage, off-site storage, and I really think it's going to be a boon. Laura Alexander, who manages the convention center for Spectrum, is here. Laura, do you want to come up and say anything? Do you want to introduce your new salesperson to us? He's not following you, Laura.
He's a little shy. Laura Alexander, I'm the general manager with Spectra Venue Management at the Owensboro Convention Center and Sports Center. I did want to introduce our director of sales is Dave DeSalvo. He's going to be the one working with the CVB to make sure that we are booking the events, the sporting events for the sports floor. And I can say we're already jumping in feet first. We've had appointments and meetings with people. We've been talking with the consultant, and our next step is to have the floor here by hopefully mid-September.
Okay, let us know when you have your first event, and some of us, I'm sure, will want to be over there.
We'll make a big splash out of
Yeah,
it.
good. Okay, thank you, Laura.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? I want to thank Commissioner Wathen. He's been involved in this from day one. He serves as liaison for the court to the Convention and Visitors Bureau. George, thanks. If there are no other questions or comments, David, do you have anything on Facebook? All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item.
H, award the following annual bids. City of Owensboro bid 4230 bulk sodium chloride rock salt, and bids number 10 through 13, which are ready mix concrete, corrugated coated pipe, culvert pipe, crushed limestone, tire repair and maintenance services.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and second. Before we move forward, Laura, you guys don't have to hang around if you don't want. It's going to be, this next part's really going to be fun. Jordan, you know the drill, right? Go through each bid, pause, and we'll see if anybody has any questions.
Yes, sir. Starting with bid number 4230, this is a cooperative bid conducted by the City of Owensboro that includes county rates and volumes for bulk rock salt. Bids range from $77.90 per ton to $95 per ton. Our bid rate with Compass Minerals is $77.90 per ton, which is up from $77.53 for the last 5 years. There are no exceptions. We see no issues, and I would recommend approval.
Jordan, just quickly, I know the county engineer is not here. He's taking about his 5th vacation this year. Just in case he's watching, I was by the op center and those bins are full, so he's probably not going to buy any salt this year, right?
Can't speak for him.
Okay, all right. That's a smart answer. Any questions? Next item.
Bid 10, 2021, this annually occurring bid is for the provision of ready-mix concrete, fibrous concrete reinforcement, and excavatable flowable fill. We received three bids and recommend award to the lowest and best evaluated bid in all categories submitted by Moit Construction Supply Incorporated for the presented rate schedule. Moit had minor exceptions, which include a $10 environmental fee per truck and a $100 small load fee for orders under 3 yards. These exceptions are normal. Public Works sees no issues. I would recommend approval.
Questions or comments? Next item.
Bid 11-2021, this annually occurring bid is for the provision of coated corrugated culvert pipe for the Daviess County Road Department. We recommend award to the only bid submitted of Hagen & Stone Wholesale Incorporated for the presented rate schedule. Hagen & Stone had minor exceptions, including that 12-inch through 30-inch measurements will be polymer coated, 36-inch and above will be bituminous coated, and they provided alternative pricing for aluminized pipe for all measurements included. They are our current vendor for this item. We have no issues. The price is comparable to prior years, and I would recommend approval.
Question, comment?
You said that there was a minor exception and that the 12 through 30 inch was one covering and then the bituminous was the second. Was our bid spec for all of it to be one coating?
Well, our bid spec should have included pricing for 2 different types of coating, the poly and the bituminous. Their exception was that they will only provide polymer for that measurement, bituminous for the above. And they also gave us aluminized, which Mark Brasher is looking into.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? Next item.
12-2021, this annual occurring bid is for the provision of limestone, river gravel, and sand for all departments. We recommend award to the only bid submitted of Yager Materials for the presented rate schedule. There were no exceptions. There was little fluctuation in unit pricing outside of moderate decreases in number 8 washed and number 8 rock. They're our current vendor for this item with no issues in prior service, and I would recommend approval.
Questions? Jordan, do you reckon the reason we get single bids on some of these items is because the freight is just so expensive to truck it in? As an example, crushed rock, I don't know, the next provider's down somewhere around the land between the lakes. Is that why we're just not getting those kinds of bids?
Very likely. It would be hard to compete with that length of delivery.
Okay. Next item.
Bid number 13-2021, this annually occurring bid is for the provision of inspection, scheduled maintenance, and repairs for all fifth-wheel road tractor tires in the solid waste department. We received 2 bids and recommend award to the lowest and best evaluated bid submitted by Best One Tire for their presented rate schedule. Projected annual costs have increased by 15%. Fleet maintenance and solid waste have no issues. There are no exceptions, and I would recommend approval.
Questions? Best One is our current?
Yes.
Okay. All right, commissioners, you've heard, that is all of them, right?
Yep.
Okay, you've heard all the recommendations of the purchasing agent. Any final question or comment? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Next item.
I renew the following bids for the contract period extending from July 1, 2021 to June 30, 2022.
Motion approved. I'm sorry.
15, 2019 bulk delivered fuels. 16, 2019 recycling services. 26, 2019 concrete crushing services. 8, 2020 pavement striping. 14, 2020 county uniforms. 17, 2020 janitorial services for county administrative facilities. 18, 2020 janitorial services for the judicial center. 19, 2020 janitorial services for the judicial annex. 20, 2020 fire rescue uniforms. 21, 2020 wood grinding services.
Motion approved.
Second.
I have a motion second. Jordan, you want to go through here and talk about these in general? Since we're renewing, I'm not sure that you have to just give a general overview.
Will do, Judge. The items presented here are annual service contracts that are eligible for renewal for the contract period extending from July 1st, 2021 to June 30th, 2022. We are recommending approval for the second renewal of 15, 2019 bulk delivered fuels to Valor Oil for their respective schedule rates. The second renewal of 16-2019 recycling services to Dahl and Grotsinger for their respective schedule of rates. Second renewal of 26-2019 concrete crushing services to Complete Demolition at $3.75 per ton. First renewal of 8-2020 pavement striping to Reynolds Sealing and Striping at 31 cents per linear foot. The first renewal of 14-2020 county uniforms to UniFirst for their respective schedule of rates. This includes all departments except the fire department. The first renewal of 17-2020 janitorial services for county administrative facilities to Purist Clean at $4,850 per month. Buildings included are the courthouse, ops center, landfill administrative office, transfer station office, and Schertzinger facility. The first renewal of 18-2020 janitorial services for the Morton J. Holbrook Judicial Center to Purist Clean at $4,375 per month. The first renewal of 19-2020 janitorial services for Robert M. Kirtley Judicial Annex to Purist Clean at $600 per month. The first renewal of 20-2020 fire rescue uniforms to Siegel's Uniforms for their respective rate schedule. And the first renewal of 21-2020 wood grinding services to O'Brien Grain Farms at $14.93 per ton. All contracts have performed our satisfaction over the last fiscal year at competitive rates, and I would recommend approval.
Questions or comments? Jordan, when we initially bid these contracts, we are very clear that this would include a certain number of renewals each time, so all the bidders would be aware that these contracts might be tied up for, say, a 3-year period.
Yes, Judge, it is a highlighted clause in every contract that we have.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
J, transfer Kandace Sturgeon to the Department of Public Works as Administrative Assistant effective June 28th, 2021.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and second. Commissioners, we interviewed several candidates, and Kandace desire to transfer over was, she's one chosen to do that. And I want to thank her for the work that she did in the parks. I know she's going to be missed by Ross Lee over in Parks, but I know she'll do a good job over at the Ops Center. Any question or comment? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
K, hire Alfred Wayne McPherson and Triana L. Greer as Panther Creek Park seasonal attendants effective upon successful completion of pre-employment screening.
Motion approved.
Second.
I have a motion and second. Again, Commissioners, these are just replacements of folks that we've lost already during the season. Any question or comment? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
L, reappoint David Johnson to the RWRA Board, term July 1st, 2021, expiring July 1st, 2025.
Motion approved.
Second.
I have a motion second. Again, Commissioners, David Johnson has served a one term for us, has done a relatively good job. We tried to when I said relatively, that kind of implied he didn't do a very good job. Sorry, David. Has done a good job for us. We try to diversify that board by appointing attorneys and accountants and folks like that, and David is an attorney here in Owensboro. Any question or comment? Just that I'm sorry I dissed you, David. So if there are no other comments, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
M, second reading of KOC A.100, 2021, an ordinance relating to the 2021-22 Daviess County budget.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion second. Mr. Hendricks, the end of a long period, right?
It is. This is the second reading. There are no differences between this second reading and the numbers that were in the first reading. It has been sent to the Department of Local Government, who approved it as to form and classification, and we have that returned. So I present to you the budget for fiscal year 22 with a total budget of $98,874,507. which includes $19,701,000 for the American Rescue Plan Act fund that we have implemented and are waiting to see how to spend. Other than that, we've discussed all the details within that budget. I recommend approval.
Commissioners, questions or comments? Well, once again, I want to thank each of the commissioners for their work as liaison to our various departments, and I want to thank our department heads, but at the same time, I want to thank all the employees that work for Daviess County Fiscal Court, and more importantly, work for the citizens of Owensboro. They do an excellent job, and because of the job that they do, we can bring in a balanced budget every year and provide all the services that the folks in Daviess County have become accustomed to from this commission. So with that being said, any other comment, questions? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. David, will this budget be on our Facebook? Do we put it on our Facebook?
Typically.
Let's put it, yeah, let's make sure it's on the Facebook. That way, if there are any questions by the public, they can review it, and then they can either give us a call or put a question on Facebook for us. Jenny, next item.
Item 3, consideration for discussion, A, other business to be brought before the Daviess County Fiscal Court, of which I am not aware.
Okay. David, we've had enough time. Were there any questions about any of the business that we had? Okay, so next item.
Public comments.
This is a time in our meeting in which we ask folks who would like to address the court to step forward to the podium. Give us your name and your address and for our record, and you're welcome to talk about anything other than what was on the agenda, and I think I have one person sitting out there that would like to. David, you haven't had any? Okay. Yes, sir.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for having me here. It's the first time I've ever been to one of these meetings, and I'm really enjoying it. It's very, very interesting. So my name is Zach Farrell. I live at 3286 Buckland Square, and I'm here today to talk about the petition that I've started to save the fully functional Panther Creek Fire Tower. To the best of my knowledge, about 3.5 weeks ago, it was locked. To save the fully functional Panther Creek Fire Tower. Best of my knowledge, about 3.5 weeks ago, it was locked.
Have you got that fixed, Jordan?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay,
A
let's
little bit
go
of
ahead,
feedback.
Zach.
I'm not a professional
I was
talking to
going to
microphones, so
tell
that's
you,
probably
Zach.
what it is.
Yeah,
I might also be
here's
guilty
the-
about wearing the loudest shirt in the room, so.
Here's the deal. You only get to address us. What's going on?
I'm not a professional talking to microphones, so that's probably what it is. I might also be guilty about wearing the loudest shirt in the room, so.
Here's the deal.
It's coming from George. I don't know if he might be playing the meeting or while he's watching it.
George, do you have the meeting on while you're watching it?
Maybe you need to mute your.
Yeah.
Yeah, ask if he can mute.
George, can you mute your, do you know how to mute it?
I did. I had my Facebook on. That's probably what it was.
Okay, let's try it again. So as I was saying, you're welcome to address us once, maybe you get by it twice, but if you try it a third time, we're gonna shut you down.
Third strike, you're out. I got it. I got it.
Okay, let's hope this
From the
works.
beginning?
No, you're fine.
Okay, great.
We just need a name and address for
Right,
the record.
Right. If I could, I'd just like to tell a little bit about myself. So I've been part of Daviess County Parks ever since I was 12 years old, played Little League there, played Babe Ruth at Panther Creek, played softball there for about 16 years. I was actually approved by Daviess County Fiscal Court as a seasonal worker when I was 17. So I have quite an extensive history with the Parks and Rec. The fire tower is a very iconic structure that is very rare to our area. To my knowledge, there's not another one within about 60 miles of right here. So it's a great amenity for people, for the residents of Daviess County to have a fully functional fire tower. I'm here at the court today to ask what the situation is with the fire tower. Will there be any media coverage about what may happen to it? I know they actually painted the upper portion of it last fall, and they did an excellent job. To the best of my knowledge, something happened, and it was locked up, So I'm just here to ask, are we going to be able to save it? Are we going to look at doing away with it? Or that's my main questions. And I've spoken with Judge Al Magney before, and we're kind of taking, I think, a safety approach to it, to have it evaluated for the structural integrity of it. And I was just wondering when that test was going to be done. Would the report say, hey, it's completely safe? Would it say it's safe, but it needs this repaired, or it's not safe? And if it could use some repairs, is that something that Daviess County Fiscal Court is willing to do to save this historic piece? Because the fire towers have been around since the beginning of the 20th century, and there's a lot of history behind that. And I just think it would be a very, it would be a missed opportunity for it to be taken away. It was moved from Cloverport in 1992, I believe, to Daviess County Parks and Rec. I know there was a lot of work that went into getting that here. I've also spoken with Commissioner Wathen about it on the phone, and Ross Lee, and everybody's just been really wonderful. I actually went out to Panther Creek and Yellow Creek this past weekend, spent about 5 hours getting signatures for a petition to save the fire tower. I have 147 currently on this, and I have 50 online through change.org. So that's really all I really have to say, and any feedback I would really appreciate.
Okay.
Thank you.
First, I would say that anything that we would say at this meeting would be premature until we take a look at it, thoroughly investigate what's going on out there. It was shut down because of our concern about the safety of the fire tower. I had talked with Commissioner Wathen. We don't know that if anything, we may leave the fire tower and just leave it shut down to the public. There are just no decisions have been made yet, but we did shut it down because of concern of public safety based on the our engineer's recommendation. Now, he's not a structural engineer, so he has a PE behind his name, but that's from road, civil engineering, that kind of thing. So right now, I don't know. As far as the media, there's a gentleman you need to talk to, because we don't control what the media does or doesn't do. We certainly try to, and I think you would agree, our Facebook presence has, since we've hired Jordan Rowe as a communications director, we've really been upping the game on Facebook, and certainly that information would be on our Facebook page. So we have no timetable right now as to when that will move forward. We'll start looking at it, I would say probably after July 1, because the money's for an engineer to look at it will be involved in about $250,000 that we've put in there to enhance the safety in our parks. So it's pretty much it.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes, go ahead,
If I could
Commissioner.
just ask,
Yeah.
I know Zach made reference to, he refers to this as a fully functional fire tower. Now, it's not actively used
No.
for fire.
I think he's right. Is this one Indian Hill? Is this the one that came from around Indian? That was my understanding. We came in possession of 2 fire towers, one at Yellow Creek Park, one at this park. The one at Yellow Creek Park we took down because of the structural integrity. This one stayed out there. There was some conversation about why wouldn't we fix the fire tower when we spend a lot of money on the bridge at Yellow Creek Park. Well, the bridge at Yellow Creek Park we had to do because we have to get from one side of the park to the other with maintenance vehicles. Question about the fire tower, it's, as Zach called, it's an amenity that very few other parks would have. But anyway, it's not functional as far as the Department of Forestry using it.
And so the park,
Yeah, yes.
When I said fully functional, sure.
Yep.
When I mentioned fully functional, I meant that people can climb it and go up in the top of the tower, and they can see everything from the OMU smokestacks to the Roosevelt House to the smokestacks at AGC, which is where Alcoa is, over across the river. You can see the whole north and west horizon, which, it's pretty amazing. I actually did a video on it last year, so if any of you all would like to see that at a later time. They wouldn't let me do it. They said it had to be pre-approved for me to show it here, plus there'd be some technology aspect to it.
right.
So when I said fully functional, I meant people were allowed to climb up into it and look out over top of the horizon. Again, it's been here since 1992. It was moved from Cloverport. I actually got that off of your all's website.
Okay.
It was posted in March. But yeah, like I said, it's amazing piece of history, and I would hate to see it be removed, number one, but number two, not allow the public to actually enjoy it for what it was intended to enjoy.
And as I said, Jordan Rowe has done an excellent job as our Director of Communications, but as to his accuracy, I can't.
Gotcha. And you mentioned the county engineer.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he's not here.
Yeah.
But you did say he's a professional engineer. He's not a
He
structural
is
engineer.
he's a PE, he's civil engineering is where he's at.
Right. I got you.
But still, they all study the same thing. So anyway, thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Jenny, next item.
See comments by Daviess Fiscal Court.
And David, before I leave, I'm going to ask one more time.
Just a Joey Kirby was voice support for Zach.
Okay, all righty, thank you. Comments by Daviess County Fiscal Court. Commissioner Wathen.
I'm gonna pass.
All right, Commissioner Koger.
Pass.
Commissioner Caslen.
Pass.
You're not going to pass because I'm going to ask you to comment on a couple things. But one of the things I want to tell everybody is our next meeting will be the 30th of June at 12 p.m. or noon. It will be the final of a series of budget transfers that we need to make sure that we're in compliance with DLG. Our next regular meeting is July 1, the very next day at 5 p.m., so we'll be back on our regular schedule. As I said before, I wanted to make sure that I reiterated fireworks on the Saturday before Labor Day, which is September the 4th, will be at Panther Creek Park. At Panther Creek Park. We will make some more announcements about that before we get started. This Saturday, June 19th, will be a celebration of Juneteenth at Kendall Perkins Park. It's from 4 to 9 p.m. The entire community is invited. It's a collaboration between the Owensboro Black Expo and the Owensboro Human Relations Commission, and it celebrates the emancipation of those who had been enslaved. It was first celebrated in Texas on June the 19th, 1865. So there'll be food, there'll be all kinds of activities. So anybody that would have an opportunity to get out and do, it's kind of like a cultural celebration, like the Multicultural Festival, and it'll be a good time for everybody. I hope they have good weather. There has been some comment regarding the outer loop. I know I've spoken to several folks. I think all the commissioners have had calls and comments about the outer loop. I was chided a little bit because we didn't inform the public about it, and really there's not a lot to inform the public about, but they said they read it, in a newspaper or in the Owensboro Times, or read something about it, and I said, well, first of all, thank them for covering it, but this is really so close to the beginning of a process that there's nothing to tell. The question that came to me was, I in favor of it, and I said, in favor of what? They said, outer loop. I said, where's it going? They said, we don't know, and I said, then I don't know if I'm in favor of it or not. Commissioner Caslen serves on the Transportation Advisory Committee, and it's commonly called the TAC Committee. I serve on the Metropolitan Planning Organization, or the MPO Committee. TAC is made up of Commissioner Caslen, Chamber, EDC, engineers, city and police representatives, sheriff's representatives, fire representatives. It's anybody and everybody that would travel throughout the community and need transportation, as well as economic development. The MPO is made up of the mayor and myself. I currently chair the MPO, and the second district engineer, Denitra Henderson. So typically TAC will recommend us, and I mean, 9 times out of 10, we do not turn down the recommendations because it's a community recommendation. You know, outer loop has been talked about for many, many years. This was an opportunity to have the state pay for the study. And as Tom Lovett said the other day, it's like it's like baking a chocolate cake. We're not even sure we're going to bake the cake, but we wanted to make sure that we had all the ingredients. So we've opened the book, and now we're starting to talk about it. This is so, I mean, it's right at the very beginning, but there will be a public Zoom meeting this evening at 7 p.m., I think, Charlie. Is that it?
I think it's 6 p.m.
6 p.m., that's right. But 7 p.m. because we will be on Eastern time. Right. At 6 p.m. If you will go to our Facebook, Jordan, would you mind, could you put a link or post a link? So if you went to our Facebook, there will be a link where you can access that meeting. Now, I'm sure there are going to be hundreds and hundreds of folks who want to ask questions. They're not going to have that much time to do it. But I did read where they would take your questions if you wanted to email them, and they will get back to you, and they will answer those questions. But right now, folks, it's way too soon to be getting upset. There are, to my knowledge, Charlie, when there are 3 routes, the furthest one being out about 40 miles in length, but there were many, many segments. There were like 12 or 13 segments that were going to be put together. Some of them following state highways, some of them following county roads. If you see the route indicated, don't get real upset because it doesn't mean that's exactly where it's going to go, because typically those corridors are half mile to a mile wide, and they're just trying to figure out the best way through. So I wanted to make that comment, and I will, and I talked to some folks Saturday, and I'll do a better job, or I'll try to get the court to do a better job, or I'll ask Jordan Rowe to make us do a better job, and we will try to keep you updated with whatever we find out about the outer loop on Facebook. So I don't think Jenny, have I forgotten anything?
No, sir.
Remember, if you want to come and address the court, we still will be doing for a while anyway, until we get into the green, meaning that we have less than 1 case of COVID per day spread. Right now, we've trended back up. We were at about 2.8. I think we're back up around 5 cases. Although I thought it was a very good report today. I believe Daviess County over 4 days had had about 13 cases, the best I remember. So, and I saw where they took 1 case off because it was a false positive. So if with that, I've talked long enough. If there's no other business to be brought forward Daviess County Fiscal Court, without exception, we're adjourned.